Welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Eric Bolling. The vacuum of leadership at the White House has tied the political process up in knots. The president's speech the other night lashed out at Republicans, talk radio, and big surprise, corporate jets. About the only thing he didn't mention was this, his own debt reduction plan. Does he even have one? Nope. The White House says the president has, quote, ideas about the debt. Not really a plan, but ideas. Really? We're on the verge of default, and you, Mr. President, have ideas? That's just great, Commander. The naked cowboy has ideas. How about a plan? Even the liberal mainstream media is wondering where the heck Obama's plan is. Take a listen.
Why not just release that plan?
Yeah. It's not a plan.
No,
it's not a plan. It was details of the plan, but it wasn't a plan the same way that we're getting a plan on the House side or that we're getting a plan on the Senate side.
We don't know what the Medicare thing is. We don't know what the Social Security part of this is. There wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of
We talked in great detail about what's in Medicare, and you know it.
Why not put it out there, though?
Yeah, why not? Why not? What we really do need is a plain, old, simple presidential plan with leadership. Take a listen to what Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say about what we should expect from the White House.
It's time for the president to put his electoral interests and preferences aside and do what's needed. Americans are waiting. Americans are waiting for the president to do what they elected him to do, not to lecture, but to lead.
Joining me now is Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Sir, what about it? Look, no plan. I get it. You don't want to put a plan up because you don't want it blasted. But honestly, should a president come up with a plan?
Absolutely. And it is almost high noon in Washington right now. Eric, when you take a look at this, the president gave his speech the other night. It really seemed to be much more of a campaign speech. Mitch McConnell is right. The only thing the president said is the bottom line for him is that he doesn't have to deal with this until after his re-election campaign in November of 2012. That's his only bottom line. I think you have to put the people of America ahead of his own re-election plans. But you listen to that speech. I mean, it was scare tactics, it's class warfare, but it wasn't a plan. He had a lot of poll-tested words. He kept using the word balance, but never balanced the budget, which American families have to do all the time. States do. The state of Wyoming, we balance our budget every year. The president, I think, has missed the whole boat on this. He's still talking about increasing taxes. Even the Democrats here in the Senate and in the House are not talking about increasing taxes. We're talking now all about where to cut.
And Senator, what really struck me was Jay Carney came out yesterday and he was talking about, he was defending the fact that Mr. Obama didn't have a plan, like some I don't know, some grand scheme that he doesn't really need a plan. And then, very importantly, mainstream media, the people who aren't fair and balanced like Fox here, were blasting Carney, saying, hey, there is no, but we need to hear the president's voice. Did it surprise you that, or are we seeing maybe the left starting to say, hey, Mr. Obama, come up with a plan?
Well, I think all of America is saying you're the president, you ran for president on a hope and change platform, but we had actually, as Americans, hoped that you would actually come up with a plan and try to show some leadership. We're not seeing this now from the president at all. I think it's a responsibility of the president of the United States to show leadership at times like this. I just got back from the weekend in time in Wyoming. You know what the American people want? They want us to not default, and they want us to cut spending. And the president has an obligation to the people to put forth a plan that does that.
Senator, I've been doing this for a while now, about 5 years, and I don't remember anyone more vehemently in the corner of a plan than was Mr. Obama, President Obama, for Obamacare, for the health care law act that became law. I don't see him that aggressive with, I don't know, saving the nation's debt crisis. He seemed a lot more in tuned and a lot more engaged in Obamacare than he is on the debt disaster awaiting us.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Eric. You know, the president and the Democrats in the Senate haven't even proposed a budget. We're now over 800 days in the Senate since we've had a budget. The only thing that's come forth was a proposal by the president months ago that even the magazine The Economist called a dishonest budget. And when it came to the Senate floor, it failed 97-0. Not even any of the Democrats supported what the president came up with 4 months ago. And then he gave a couple of speeches. They asked, I think, the Office of Management and Budget how that would be, and they said, we don't score speeches. No, you have to have a written plan. What are you going to deal with? How are you going to lower the spending? How are you going to get more in balance in terms of trying to actually balance the budget? The president has offered essentially nothing other than campaign speeches. The American people deserve better.
So What's going on here, sir? I mean, is he playing politics? Is he lining up his 2012 reelection plan now instead of a debt crisis plan?
Well, I think it's all about the presidential election, and it's all politics for this president. You know, he's pretty good at giving speeches, but not really with coming up with a plan. And I think Senator McConnell got it absolutely right. It's time, Mr. President, to put away the 2012 election and deal with what we are facing now in America, what families in America face every day. And being irresponsible at this time, Mr. President, is not an option for our country. The American people expect and deserve better than what you're providing, and you're not providing leadership right now, Mr. President.
All right, sir. We're going to say thank you to Senator John Barrasso. Thank you, sir.